in my cells, that's my celly. Made in the image of God, that's a selfie. Pray 5 times a day, so many felonies. Who gon' push my bell? Lord, help me.
Gentlemen, Labor Day weekend is over. Football season's about to begin. And I cannot fucking wait. I don't really have that much of an intro. This is the post-draft recap episode of Safe Space. Welcome back to Safe Space. We have a shit ton to get to. Let's get started. Alright, premise of this episode, very simple. Coming out of the draft, best team, worst team, best pick, worst pick, any submissions for your week 1 opponent. Let's get started with best team, and I am very happy to announce the person with the most best team votes of 5 votes. Mr. John Rast. How about that? Rast would admit he would be the first person to admit his first 2 seasons in the league haven't gone great. One might say he's been a bit of a punching bag, a blue crayon of the league in terms of trades. But Rast coming out of the draft with what the league considers the best team. It goes Davante Adams in round 1. Same thing happened with Davante last year, whereas the front part of the draft gets a little bit running back happy. Davante probably falls 2 or 3 picks farther than he should. Rast nabs the best receiver in pick 1. Gets another stud receiver, DK Metcalf, in round 2. Then, especially in our league, 14 teams, when you go wide receiver, your running backs are bound to be shaky. He's able to get Chris Carson and Mike Davis in 3 and 4, who, aren't tier 1 and tier 2 running backs, but if they stay healthy, they're getting the touches. They're going to be serviceable backs. I'm sure there will be weeks that they get 20 points a week. So he goes wide receiver, then gets solid running backs. And then my favorite part about Rast's team, he caps it off with the Aaron Rodgers, Davante Adams stack, which is going to be pretty fucking nasty. So Rast, I know you'll probably fuck it up throughout the season, but actually if you stick to your pillars that you taught us for this year, God bless you. You might be a big threat this year. Alright, we have 3 other teams that got votes. As you know, you can vote for yourself. Coming in with 4 votes, Rast had 5 votes. Coming in with 4 votes, Spencer Sklar. Spencer and I were talking about his team right after the draft. I'm pulling it up now. But I told him I thought he had a nasty team if he got an RB2. He got an RB2. Dobbins goes down. He has Gus Edwards. Now he has a pretty nasty lineup. Murray, Cook, Gus Edwards, Terry, CeeDee, Hawkinson, Boyd. Do you see any weaknesses? I don't see any weaknesses. Moving on. This team had 3 votes. Is my team. Thank you. I don't know. I think my team's pretty solid. I also was benefited, similar to Spencer, to preseason injury where I have James Robinson now. So hopefully he'll get a bunch of points. But yeah, I don't know. Everything's going to come back down to Saquon, and don't feel great about the Giants. And the last team that got 1 vote was James Ortiz. I do not know who voted for this, but what Ortiz Lambda variant? No, that's Kevin. Ortiz, Delta and Darts. Mahomes, Eckler, Miles Sanders, Hopkins, Samuel, Ebron, Ayuk. I don't know who the fuck. Ortiz, fine team. I don't think you should have gotten a vote for best team. Moving on. Alright, we're moving on to worst team votes now. We had 2 ties for the worst team vote, 4 votes each. First person I voted for as well, Mr. John Sedano. I'll read the comments, none of these are from me. Feel like his team would have been good in 2018-19. After his first 3 picks, he lost himself. Completely reliant on Dak for both QB and Zeke output. Everyone else would have been great in the mid-2000s. LOL, which in the void. 3 boomer bust receivers, taking Zach over Kyler to, quote, switch things up from last year. Moss is an RB2. His RB2 is Zach Moss, and we'll see if Mike Evans can make a reliable number 1. I think the league hit it on the head with their points here. We know John Sedano, and we know John Sedano hates fucking change. Year after year, he picks guys that are past their prime. I actually looked up his 3 receivers that are in his lineup right now: Mike Evans, Randall Cobb, and Odell Beckham. And I looked where they went in their first year drafting back when we were still in college. Those 3 receivers were 1st, 2nd, and 4th round picks. So death, taxes, Johnny picking mid-30-year-olds washed up in their prime in their league. Also, I want to touch on a second point here that someone in the league made about Johnny's team that I caught on when Johnny made the comment live. So Johnny was about to draft Dak, and he goes, last year I picked Kyler over Dak. This year I'm going to switch things up and pick Dak over Kyler. Last year Kyler was awesome, and Dak was fucking injured all year. Why switch it up? That's terrible logic. God bless you, John. Moving on. Second team that got 4 votes. Rivalry Recap's own Brian Marsh. I'll read the comments. Currently has 2 Giants starting and a wide receiver running back stack. Never want that. Amen to that. Makes me want to throw up in my mouth. Johnny is a close second, though. Don't love Jay Taylor. All right, I'll touch on the first 2 comments. Totally get it. Don't want 2 Giants in your lineup this year. I think some of these votes did come in after Etienne got injured, but to play devil's advocate to Etienne got injured, Etienne was your 4th, 5th round pick, Marsh. That shouldn't make or break your team sucking. So we'll see what you get from, I think you have Gibson Hill. They're going to have to carry, and Josh Allen's going to have to be damn MVP. Don't love Jay Taylor. So Marsh does not have Jonathan Taylor, but this was someone's safe space comment about Marsh's team. I'm just going to expose it. That came from John Rast. Rast decided to submit to safe space on his way home from Nashville this year. As we know from his presentation in Nashville, safe space takes way too much of his fucking time, cares really about his answers. Rast, maybe this is why. He doesn't even have Jonathan Taylor. What are you doing, buddy? Good team, though. 3 other teams got votes. This team got 3 votes, so slightly behind Johnny Marsh for worst team votes. Mike Weston, just 2 quick talents. 2 quick comments, excuse me. No talent, weak RBs. Let me pull up Weston's team. Weston hurt my feelings. I bet these votes hurt your feelings. I hate Jalen Hurts. Philip Lindsay is awful. Clyde, you're banking on the Chiefs, but Clyde was terrible last year. Julio and Brandon Cooks. This is like a Johnny Sedano lineup. Julio and Brandon Cooks as receivers and Adam Thielen. It's ugly after Kelsey. You got 3 washed-up receivers, 2 running backs that frankly aren't good, and Jalen Hurts, who I'm not sure is good at football. Wow. I did not realize Weston's team was this bad. Moving forward, 2 teams got 1 vote here. James Ortiz got 1 vote for worst team. I touched on this when he got the best team vote. I think it's a fine team. Probably average out your best team vote and your worst team vote. You're going to have an average team, James. And the last team that got 1 vote, I'm surprised, honestly, this person didn't get more than 1 vote. Kevin Lamb. The only team without a, quote, go-off guy. I kind of agree with this. Kevin went Mixon in round 1. If you look at all the first-round picks, I remember we did this in this video last year when Ian picked Kenyon Drake in round 1. Mixon feels like the highest likelihood of a round 1 pick to completely bust. I do like Jonathan Taylor, and Kevin kind of had to go running back when you're picking, or at least 1 running back when you're picking at the end. But let's go to Lambda variant really quickly. It doesn't have a quarterback, so you don't have a go-off guy at quarterback. Joe Mixon and Jonathan Taylor could be solid if healthy. Don't consider them go-off guys. Same thing with Cooper Kupp, Deontay Johnson, Gronk, and Antonio Brown. Yeah, Kevin, where's the pop? Where's the Where's the pizzazz? Don't see it. All right, that was worst team. That was best team. Let's get to the picks. So for both the best pick votes and the worst pick votes, completely scattered across the board. Think that's generally good. I remember last year the whole league kind of piled on Rasp for his Allen Robinson pick, but it doesn't seem like there's one clear best pick or worst pick this year. No votes, no players, or no picks got more than 2 votes, so we'll just go through them. Best pick. 2 picks got 2 votes. Alvin Kamara, Ian picked him at 6. No brainer, got a top 3 guy at 6. Really puts you ahead. Yeah, Ian, I think general consensus was that Alvin Kamara would go top 3 or 4. You got him at 6. Don't want to comment on why you got him at 6. We'll move past it, and we'll see how it plays in the season. Next player, Travis Kelce at 9. Weston voted for himself here, so, I mean, count it as 2 votes, but someone else did vote for it. He is a league winner. Yeah, I mean, Travis Kelce at 9 didn't seem like to me as the best pick in the draft at all. Seemed okay. He's 32. Next one. So rest just got 1 vote. James Robinson. Oh, I didn't vote for this, but locked in an every week starter in the 6th round thanks to injury. Congrats, Joe. You could pat yourself on the back for that one. I mean, I honestly don't consider that like a good pick. I got lucky. Like, I consider best pick based on who's healthy and who's available on the board. But yes, I'm very thankful that Etienne is out for the year. DeAndre Hopkins in the mid-2nd round. Nice value. I actually looked at the draft board and looked at this one. Like, I was pretty surprised at the 3 receivers that went before Hopkins. Hopkins has been an elite guy since we've been doing the league. And I think Metcalf, Ridley, and maybe one other guy that's like a questionable over Hopkins shouldn't have gone in front of him. But Ortiz, Hopkins in the 2nd round. I think the comment was spot on. Great value from where you got him. He's an elite guy. Tom Brady. Lynch voted for this himself. You can't talk shit about Brady anymore, but I mean, he's not the best pick in the fucking draft. Corey Davis got a vote. Would have been Henderson before the Michelle trade, so this person's vote would have been Henderson before the Michelle trade. Saying Corey Davis just feels wrong. I mean, Corey Davis is a 1, right? If Zach Wilson is good, I don't know what round Sklar or Tony got Corey Davis in, but if Zach Wilson is fucking average, that will be a great pick. Robbie Anderson got a vote, no comment. I mean, really, Robbie Anderson was the best fucking pick in the draft. Chris Carson, vote. When you go wide receiver, you need to get great value for a running back in round 3. I mean, I touched on this in the open with Rass's best team breakdown. Chris Carson, if he stays healthy, same thing with Mike Davis, Rass is going to have a fucking nasty team. Another best team vote, best pick vote, Deshaun Watson. Clearly not going to miss the whole year, and you could trade him for a top 20 receiver once he signed. I actually wanted to use this to talk about a couple teams in the league that, like, we know that 14-team league, we have a very thin bench, only 5 members of the bench. Multiple people in our league are holding not just 1 quarterback, which like half the league doesn't even do, but 2 quarterbacks, which I think is kind of an issue. Like, I think Kevin's holding Fields, Eric's holding Lawrence and Lance on his bench. Like, those are just valuable bench spots that shouldn't be taken up as a quarterback. And even if Deshaun Watson does come back, like, it's hard to get value for an elite quarterback in this league. It just is. So we'll see. I mean, yeah, if Deshaun Watson plays at all this year, getting him in the 14th round, like, your opportunity cost of getting him wasn't a lot. But I'd be curious to see what Charlie can turn that into. Maybe it'll be the Giants starting quarterback next year. 2 more here. Russell Gage got a vote. I actually really like this breakdown. It's articulate. Not sure Borelli even knows who he was when he picked him, but the guy had 70-plus catches last year with Ridley and Julio in front of him. Take Julio out of the question, insert a new offensive system, and Borelli might have found a top 25 receiver at the bottom of the draft. Yeah, this is a simple opportunity one, right? Guy was pretty decent. Now Julio's at the door. There's targets available. Pitts might take some of them, but Russell Gage, I did not know he had 70 fucking catches last year. So good pick, Christian. Last one, Darrell Henderson. This was actually voted before the Michelle trade, so I doubt the person that voted this would have voted again. But if he gets a workload that was supposed to go to Cam Akers, he can be dangerous. I mean, like, as a person that has Henderson, I'm not terribly, like, scared of Sony Michel. I think I have better knees than Sony Michel. But Michel probably takes some goal line fucking touches, which sucks. So I got Henderson in the mid-4th, and the 4th actually. Like, he'll probably end up producing value that's equal to that. Last segment, worst pick, moving forward, go. If you guys could tell, I'm rushing through because I have to go somewhere. Worst pick. Same thing as best pick. Mostly scattered throughout the board. Two picks got 2 votes. First one was Saquon Barkley. My pick at number 5. I'll read the comments. Too much risk for a top 5 pick. Fandom clouded Nardulli's judgment. I personally wouldn't have taken him if he fell to 11. Look who's picking 11. That's Eric. Listen. Imagine how fucking stupid you are going to feel that I picked the, without a question, most talented running back in the NFL at 5. So I picked him over Kamara, who has Jameis as his quarterback now, right? He used to have check down king Drew Brees as his quarterback. Now he has Jameis, who doesn't fucking check down. And Taysom Hill is going to take all of his goal line touches. Saying like Saquon Barkley was a bad pick is like, oh yeah, I won't buy Apple after the whole fucking market dipped. Bad stock. Idiot. Moving on. I could be wrong about that. The Giants fucking suck. Sam Darnold's got 2 picks as the worst pick in the draft. Will lose his job. When am I going to move on from this tradition? Yeah, so Charlie voted this for himself. I have nothing to say about Sam Darnold. Moving on. Mike Evans. This actually, I put it down as 1 vote, but I'm voting for this live as the worst pick in the draft. The other person that voted this is from a pick from Johnny, but not a comment from Johnny. Don't understand paying a premium for a guy in a crowded room when Allen Robinson was still on the board. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think Mike Evans was going to go top in the early 3rd. When Johnny took him in front of me, I ran to the board to put the Allen Robinson sticker on. In my opinion, he should not have been picked in front of Allen Robinson, Robert Woods, or Amari Cooper, who were the 3 receivers that went immediately after him. Weston could tell you, Weston had him last year. Like, Mike Evans' stats were so inflated for from 1 yard goal line touchdowns. Sure, he could have that again, but touchdowns are something that usually regress year over year. I don't know. There's just a lot of receivers there too, plus running backs. So that's a Johnny pick. That is a fucking Johnny pick. Moving on. Joe Mixon, 1 vote for worst pick in the draft. Lamb's swing pick of Mixon Taylor had me baffled. One of those guys is fine, but both is crazy. Mixon is a bum on a bad team who can't stay healthy. I would have much preferred any of the 4 guys that went after his double pick. Gave me a fighting chance drafting next to him. I mean, I'll say it again. If you look at all the first round picks, Joe Mixon is by far the one you're just not excited about. My video stopped because my iPhone storage maxed out. I think I was at Kevin's 2nd worst pick vote, Chase Claypool. I don't know what Lamb was thinking here, picking back-to-back Steeler wide receivers after they just drafted Najee. I honestly think he didn't realize he did this and had to play it off as if he wanted it all along. I mean, Chase Claypool is fucking talented. So is Deontay Johnson. I get having both of them is not a good idea, but they're good at football. So I don't hate the pick, but I don't love the pick. But I'm pretty sure during the draft, Kevin pointed after he had Deontay and Chase Claypool. He pointed. It might have been Charlie, but I think it was Kevin. He pointed to fucking Juju and was like, "I gotta pick him if he's still there." So he could have had all 3 Steelers receivers, which would have been hilarious. More votes for worst picks. Miles Sanders. I think the league just hates Miles Sanders. Etienne. This vote came in after injury, so no worries, Marsh. Mark Andrews. Lynch admitted this pick sucked when he took it. Could have picked an elite QB there and got a tight end just as good 2 rounds later. Yeah, I hated the Mark Andrews pick. I think he's if an average tight end's a 5 and Travis Kelce's a 10, Mark Andrews is a 6. Darrell Henderson got a vote. Just a bad football player. Fuck you. Darrell Henderson wasn't the worst pick in the draft. Relax, Christian. Anonymous Christian. DeAndre Swift. Swift in the 2nd round is criminal. He had a great second half of the season last year. He's young, has upside, but Dan Campbell's been saying that Jamal Williams might start. Matt Lynch, not great at picking running backs in the 2nd round. Picked Leonard Fournette last year in the same spot. Jamar Chase, comment was bad reach. I totally agree with that. they've been saying he sucks in camp. And I think Christian picked him in front of Boyd and maybe Higgins as well. And I think he's definitely below them on the depth chart. Last vote for worst pick in the draft, Najee Harris. There's no comment here, but I mean, could be bad. Could be Clyde, like last year. That's worst case scenario. Could be Saquon when I picked him as a rookie. Good luck, Eric. I mean, he's a rookie running back in the first round. High upside, high ceiling, low floor. Let's get safe space submissions. Why don't we? And we are wrapping up how we wrap up every week with some week 1 safe space submissions. Can Johnny confirm if he hecks a team this year? Typically he curses someone on draft day. Did I miss this? I mean, this might be just a classic Johnny thing, like where he just doesn't follow up on something. I remember a couple years ago he gave the kiss of death to Nick Chubb. I don't remember what he did last year. He wrote in the group chat a couple hours before I filmed this that he thinks Matt Ryan is going to be QB1. So maybe it's a kiss of hope instead of a kiss of death. But Johnny, follow up if a team has a kiss of death or a player has a kiss of death this year. Johnny put in this quote about himself. I think he knew he's been getting a lot of shit about his team, but he put in a very Johnny quote, it always works out for me. He has a solid team most years. He had a shitty one a couple years ago, but we'll see. Safe space submission. Let Ortiz know that the Latin Bowl is coming home again. Related safe space submission. Unreal weekend in Nashville. We all might have that Delta variant. Shout out Kevin. If I remember correctly, Lynch has beaten me in the Latin Bowl 5 years running. Hope to change it up. So I guess Lynch and Ortiz's week 1 matchup is called Latin Bowl. Is Lynch Latin? Don't know. Lynch, follow up on if you're Latin. This one comes from Tony. Marsh made an enemy this year. Also want to give some context to my name, which is sending nudes to my boss. Sending an accidental nude to your boss not only ruins your day, but your entire career. I'm coming for the neck this year. Tony, most likely, yes, that will ruin your fucking career, but there is also like a slight likelihood that you could, climb up that corporate ladder with some nudes. New safe space submission. Lamb is going to love seeing a healthy Mostert put up 25 points in the first half before leaving with an injury. That is Raheem Mostert for you. This one is directed to Tony. # bring Corey Davis home. Second to last one, directed to me from Marsh. Good luck, Joe. I think everyone's sleeping on my team. Etienne was a tough blow, but there's a lot of spite around this league, and I make more enemies with every video I put out. Can't wait till I'm starting the Giants week 1 running back. He's referring to Booker, and Mr. Barkley is sitting sad on the bench. Marsh, couple things to unpack here. I agree with you. Making videos does not make friends in this league. I can attest to that. I'm kind of bummed that Etienne got hurt because usually I like to make fun of how you get very excited about your team. I was going to call you Mr. September this year because you're all about your team at Mr. September and then you're out of it in October. But, I think this says something about your team that Etienne got hurt and people are already like it's over. People don't hit on all their 4th, 5th, 6th round picks. This shouldn't be it's over for your team, but we'll see, Marsh. We'll see. Good luck week 1. Last comment. We'll wrap it up. We'll bring it home. Nashville was Cashville. Thank you all for bringing the energy. Yes, very fun. I feel like an idiot for leaving home early because my flight left the next day. But had a very fun time. Hopefully I'll see a bunch of you throughout the season. Good luck. Football's back. Cannot wait till Sunday. Godspeed.